For me, it's almost impossible to determine where Provita begins and EVIC ends and IUCN comes in. It's always all together. And that's, I think, a very stable, strong kind of triad of organizations.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we see across the kind of conservation communities. It's a very collaborative space. You know, people tend to work together. You have something immediately in common with someone else, which is you care passionately about the species you're trying to save, and you're working towards the same goal.
We are now realizing over the years that although most of our assessments of the status of biodiversity are global, most of the actions happen locally at the level of nations.
Give an example of what that might look like. Let's say in Venezuela, what will that mean for Venezuelan conservation over the next 4 years, just to bring it to life?
So the way that we envision this, we're calling this initiative, it's still primordial, but we're calling it Reverse the Red of the Red List.
It's using what you've seen already effective within the network, the bright spots of activity, but helping that to replicate it and sharing the success across many countries.
So many subtleties in the way that people see the world. Sometimes you feel that it's kind of naive to say things like, like knowing the local ways is important, but it really is important. When we sit down with people of a diverse history, experience, institutional context, all kinds of things. When you get them together, you come up with solutions that are totally different than when you limit yourself to small groups. So we have to recognize that different worldviews are out there, and that sometimes coming with the recipe that we developed in Cambridge is not going to be applicable everywhere. So we have to not feel frustrated because of that, but rather embrace it.
What do you think conservationists need to be better at or do more of to have more impact and to kind of tackle more losses?
Well, I think that's exactly it. We have to do more of it. Making sure that we know, that we understand, that we have the answer. That it's not that we have to invent anything that is new. It's not that we have failed. It's that there's a lot fewer of us doing conservation than on the other side, if you want. That I think that we just have to insist, go with a positive message, insist that we have the tools, we have the knowledge, we have the experience. We just need to do more of it. And if we can mobilize resources around the world, if we can mobilize the governments, if we can get people to recognize and to accept that it is within their reach, it's within their possibilities, then I think we have a much better chance of succeeding.